Well, I think it means to be a landscape architect student is to have the ability to not just interpret what is going on around you, but also to break down what it is that is important to the people that are engaging these sites that we design.
I think it starts with having an open mind and approaching any situation, but especially a design situation, ready to tackle it in whatever way it wants to be tackled.
We have the ability to promote change. At least that's how I think about myself. And so that's why I get really excited about landscape architecture, because I think that we as students can help change things, whether those be environmental things, social things. And so that's why I'm excited to learn every day.
To me, being a landscape architecture student means that one day I'll have the ability to hopefully have an impact on society, and I can do that through my own creativity and designs, which I tend to think is pretty cool, and not a lot of people have that opportunity.
I think for me, it means being very passionate about design, really caring about what you do and the people that you're designing for, and I think that passion eventually leads to good design of systems or spaces or places for people. It makes their lives better.
So I chose Penn State not only because both of my parents were alumni, so I had always grown up, a big Penn State fan. Another reason I chose Penn State was because of the amazing abroad experiences that it offered. So the opportunity to travel across Europe was definitely a reason I chose to come to Penn State.
I've grown up a Penn State fan my whole life. My mom went here, and knowing that they had one of the top landscape architecture programs in the nation, I thought, why not?
So I chose Penn State for the reason of just having multiple options, and it couldn't have ended up any better than it did, because I started out in engineering, and by chance I stumbled upon landscape architecture, and it's been one of the best decisions and best paths I've taken in my life, so I'm very happy to have chosen Penn State.
Well, I'm a State College native, and I took a landscape architecture class in high school, actually, and so I was extremely passionate about it from the get-go, and I decided to visit Penn State, and it was just amazing. The building is phenomenal. I fell in love with it right away. After that, it's history.
I think the most rewarding academic experience that I have is the Pittsburgh studio with Ken Taminga. I'm from Pittsburgh. I grew up partly on the north side, and that is where the studio is based. And so it was just a really kind of full circle participation. For me, it was one of those times where you're actually able to inspire other people, help other people, and
Probably the most rewarding thing I would say is my studio I took last semester, the Pittsburgh studio. Dealing a lot with interacting with community members and kind of getting their input on design within their communities. And I just thought that was really rewarding because
During our broad experience, we worked with German students to provide some design ideas for the local community that we were living in. And that collaboration helped build our understanding of how we could work in a field with people who are of different nationalities and work with them to come up with a solution.
One of the most rewarding skills that I've gotten out of my education here at Penn State is the amount that it's prepared for me to be a professional in the real world. So this is through not only programs such as the career fair and meeting real professionals who have come here to lecture at least once a month, but also through our professional practice class that has really prepared us for the real world and the experiences that we'll face there.
Probably, although it might not seem like it, to communicate, whether that be in person or graphically. We do a lot of presentations here. We do a lot of visual communication, and so interacting with each other on a daily basis, talking through ideas, and interacting with one another, I think, is something that's really helped me a lot.
I actually think that the best skill that I've learned was to have a design mind, which I think combines critical and creative thinking. So a lot of people have one or the other, but taking the classes that we have to take, I think we develop a mindset that helps me in any situation that I find myself in to solve problems.
The most rewarding experience so far, I think, has just been practice in the fields. I've certainly learned a lot through meeting people and just getting a hands-on experience.
One of the most valuable skills that I took away from my education here at Penn State would have to be getting engaged with the community that I was designing in, because it's so easy to overlook the people that actually live in the world that you're designing for, and it's just the most you can't get rid of it. You need to incorporate the community into what is going on, because they're the ones that are using the spaces you come up with.
I think the most valuable skill that I've learned is being able to communicate effectively with people. I think that goes from going to summer camps and being able to talk to incoming freshmen about their passion and their art, and being able to critique them, but also kind of give them constructive criticism. And so it's not only making them better, but also kind of like inspiring them. And then
I plan on doing after I get my BLA, it kind of comes down to a multitude of options that I've been given thanks to the Penn State landscape architecture program. Working in collaboration with everyone in this studio environment helped me basically learn how to engage different disciplines in the design world, so I have many choices open to me.
So after school, I plan to work at the firm in DC that I interned for last summer. And then a couple years down the road, I'm possibly considering going to grad school as well, to get my master's in landscape architecture and possibly historic preservation.
Well, hopefully working in sort of a civic aspect. I'd like to start to travel too, to get different experience, and hopefully one day acquire my licensure and see where that takes me.
hopeful. So I think that the next 5-10 years, I think that I'll be attending grad school, and then I think eventually the goal is to run my own firm one day and hopefully impact as many people as I can with great design.
I don't think it's really that important what I do as a job, but I think that the core of my job, what I want it to be, is to promote change, environmental and social change. Those problems are huge, some of them, and I think it's kind of our responsibility as landscape architects to kind of carry that torch and, I don't know, just help the next generation.